welcome back. Today we're going to discuss and go over how to create a random encounter table using the new 5th edition Dungeon Master's Guide. So, where do we start? Well, first off, get our handy dandy Dungeon Master's Guide, and we're going to turn to page 86. Alright, once there, they discuss in some detail on how to do this. First off, you pretty much want to have an idea of where your adventure, where the random encounter is going to take place. In this instance, I am creating an encounter table, a low-level woods area called Danton Woods for an adventure coming up. So that's the location. Next, you want to go ahead and start looking at what creatures you want to include. So here, as you can see, I have started outlining some of the encounters that are in there, and I haven't broken them down yet. So I want to have some bandits in there, some orcs, goblins, a herd of elk, possibly run into an ogre, a periton, which a lot of people haven't run into, so that would be kind of cool. A brown bear, some boar, sturges, giant wasps, run into possibly a druid investigating what's going on here in the woods, some giant spiders, goblins. Oh wait a minute, we put goblins in twice. Alright, so I'll remove that. That's why I came up with 21 on there. Needle blights, wolves, and then on the last part, I went through and used some random tables that I had found over on the web. The first one that I used, where I got the impaled skulls and the crumbling stone well, was from a chart called 100 Wilderness Features and Landmarks. I'm not exactly sure where I found it on the internet, but it gives you a percentile chart of all kinds of different things you may run into in the wilderness. Now, the last three there, I actually got from another table that is put out by Raging Swan Press called Wilderness Dressings Woodlands. And they have several different charts in there. I highly recommend you check out their dressings, especially the dungeon dressings one, and some of the wilderness ones are pretty cool. Alright, they have a whole bunch of different products. Okay, so I have a list of the different creatures and encounters I want to have in here. I'm going to go ahead and modify that since I had goblins in there twice. Let me just fix up the numbers here. Alright, and we're going to use a D20 on this. You don't have to use a D20. You can use any combination you want, really. You can even use just a D6, you know, if you only have 6 things. Or like they have in the book, you can use a D12 and a D8 to give you anywhere from 2 to 20 if you choose to do that. I just wanted an even 20. Actually, what I did is I went through my list, and then I think I was at like 14 things. I'm I want something closer to around 20 things. I want to put several different, you know, non-combat encounters into the random chart. And looking at this, there's a couple things where I'm looking at integrating some. Like, for instance, if we look at number 17, the party interrupts a large spider in the process of cocooning a deer caught in its web deep in a foreboding thicket. At the PC's approach, the spider hisses, clacks its mandibles menacingly, and then retreats, allowing the PCs to rescue the trapped animal. With that in mind, I'm actually going to go ahead and remove my spider and I'm going to integrate it into that one. Okay. See, next up here, moss-covered bones from a large creature lie in a clearing. Check reveals it was an adult red dragon. That we'll just leave as that. Oh, number 19. A group of partially uprooted trees lean into each other, appearing like they huddle against each other for support. That I'm going to kind of mold a little differently, and I'm going to put an ogre into that encounter. So I'm going to cut that out and put it in there. I'll just put in ogre travels this path frequently. And see it leans into each other. And we're going to put something big has passed. Pass through. And it's kind of going to dictate if the PCs, if they're foolhardy and they want to see what big thing's been going through here, even though this is going to be for first level, if they chose to pursue this, they're going to run into an ogre, and most likely the ogre's going to kick the butt. But we're going to go ahead and put that in there, because I don't like making everything exactly even killed. So I'm going to put it there, so if they're careful, they won't have to struggle with an ogre. But if they're persistent and they're trying to cause a lot of trouble, well, they're going to find some trouble with an ogre. Alright, so next up, let's see here, the next one. Chalk arrows on trees point out a path and then end without reaching an obvious destination. DC 15 survival check reveals that something dragged a body away from near the final chalk tree days ago. And with that, I'm looking at either putting maybe a giant boar there, or I wonder if I should put the ogres, or not ogres, the orcs there. So it's got to be something that dragged it away, so the Periton wouldn't work. Or Periton. Actually, the brown bear could work. Let's see here. Man. Decisions on that one. Well, we'll kind of think on that a little bit. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and adjust our table a little bit here. See where we're at. Oops. Oops. So far we have 18. I don't like 18 as a number, so I'm going to throw in a couple more things from my wilderness campaign settings chart here. Let me find it. So we got a 20. Let's see, 20 gives me. This campsite appears to be an attack by large animals. Tents are torn. Food has been scattered. And something different. Actually, you know what? I want a little bit of exploration put in there. So I'm going to actually take one of the ones they have on their chart there. And ivy covered statue of figure. I'll put that there. Let's see, we have impaled skulls, which I'm going to put that out as that's left behind by the orcs. Let's see here, so we'll make a note of that. Mark in their territory. Crumbling stone well. Actually for that one, using my binder here, I'm actually going to roll on another chart called Little Treasures. It's got a bunch of mundane items, which it's almost kind of like the trinket chart, where you can use it. A lot can come out of it if you choose. Alright, so we've got 75, and that's going to be a silver dagger shaped like a curved claw. The hilt is wrapped with dark blue silk. I like that one. So, and we're going to make a DC 15 perception check. We'll reveal a small niche in the bottom. Or the bottom, not in the bottom of the well, but in the base of the well. Dagger shaped like a curled claw. Not curled claw. Curved claw. Wrapped in that. I still want at least one more, because I just would rather roll a d20 than grabbing 2 dice. Alright, let's see what else might we find. This one we're just going to use just random, trying to figure out what it could be. Use our brain power to figure out what to put in there. Maybe we'll just put maybe an abandoned, or I know, we'll put that there's that there's a skeletal figure propped against the base of a tree. Looks like the remains of a hunter. Cool. Alright, and then now that I have these, I want to kind of mix it up to where it's not just 1 through 12, it's all monsters, and others are up there. So I'm gonna do is kind of mix it up. We'll take the goblins, put them down there. We'll put the skeleton in its place. And then let's see here. Put this one right in there. And we'll take the brown bear, put down there. This one. Put that right there. Take that wasp, drop that down. Oops. Get this. This in there. The wolves down there. Get that out. And I think we'll put that up here. Take the bandits, drop down there. There, it looks a little more balanced to me. Okay, so now we have our chart there. Now, now we have to figure out on building some of the encounters, like how many orcs are we going to do. We're going to build this with the intent that there's going to be, I'm going to say 5 PCs. I usually have between 4 and 6 players, so I'll just go in between. So if we look at our encounter table on page 81 of the DNG, for first level, say there's a medium encounter, it's 50 XP per character, and say we're going with 5, so that's 250, and then of course we got the multipliers, which we're not going to worry too much about at the moment. So let me go back here to our appendix, Masters by CR. I think orcs are CR. Where are they at? Maybe their halves. Their halves. So they're 100 apiece. Wow. There'd be more than just a couple of orcs out there. Usually, it'll probably be a like a hunting party. I'm gonna say 1 through 3, 1d3. So that'll put it between medium and hard there. Hunting party. Alright. See here. We are in on the spider, we know that's just 1, so we'll leave that there. The skeleton, there's nothing wrong with it, although I'm sure that's gonna really make the party nervous when they see that. Herd of elk, we'll say there's at least 6, 1d6 elk. Periton, we're just gonna put 1 periton because those are pretty vicious creatures. Boars. Let's see here. Boars are CR 1/4, so they're 50. See, usually boars, there's usually a small, at least a little herd of them. And we'll do 1d6 on those guys. Okay, sturges. And we'll probably not do as many of them, maybe 1 through 3 or something like that. Let's see, sturges are, where are they at? Alright, Sturgeons are CR 1/8, so they're worth 25 apiece. So, I'm going to put 1d4. Alright. We still didn't figure out what we wanted to do with 9. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. And then, if the PCs decide to investigate it, I'll just improv that. Number 10, there's going to be a druid. Probably going to need a name, so we might as well put it in there so it doesn't catch us off guard. We'll call him Driggle. Weird name, but yeah, at least we got one. Alright, Needle Blights. I think those are a little tougher. Let's see here. Needle Blights. Oh, they're CR 1/4. I think I'll put a D4 on those. Let's see here. Number 12 stands at that. 13, we'll leave that be. Crumbling Stone Well, leave that be. Bandits. Put 1d6 on those. Wolves. Put a d4. Actually, I'm going to put 1d4 plus 1, because there should be at least a couple. Alright, let's see here. The ogre will leave as just one. Wasp. Put a d3 on those. Brown bear will put 1. Goblins, put 1d4 plus 1 on those as well. Put their raiding party. Alright, so there we go. There is our random encounter table for Danton Woods that we created. So now we're going to save that. Go. I have it for whenever I need it. Alright, anyhow, hopefully y'all learned something from us and enjoyed it. Anyhow, we'll see you around in the next video. Take care.